Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. As you can see, got the Hammer Rey out. Took it out for a really fun rip on a new trail that I've been running down along a stream. Got it into a little bit of everything, running it through the water, through the mud, rocks, roots, you name it. Hit it all. Had a really good time with this thing. I think I've achieved a really good balance with this truck. If you look at what it's based on, the Trophy Jeep, it's kind of a mix of really fast, like desert running, Baja style racing, and then also King of the Hammers style hardcore rocky trails. And this truck works really great on both. If you want to know more about my setup in this in detail, check out my previous videos. I have a playlist that links all of my videos up for the Hammer Rey, and I go into a lot more detail of what is in this thing. But I think the way I have it set up right now with these softer crawler tires on here, 2.2s, the Castle system with the remote adjustable drag brake. I got the suspension pretty dialed in, and it's working great for kind of a combination of everything. Some really fast ripping through some rough terrain, and then also some slower, kind of rockier, not quite rock crawling. I don't think this thing will ever be super capable for that just because of the size of this. Ultimately, this thing works really well. You just kind of have to be realistic about what kind of trails you get this thing into. I do have the diffs pretty well locked up. I put some silicone earplug in all three diffs just to get a lot more four-wheel drive action like all the time, so it just doesn't diff out. And I'm really happy with that. I haven't had any issues with the diffs or the axle since then. I wouldn't go full lockers on this. I think the amount of power this has would just end up destroying something if they were fully locked. So the earplugs allow it to get really good traction based on the RPM. You know, if you're starting to diff out a little bit or get stuck, if you just rev it up a little bit, that earplug, it starts to really lock up that diff more and more, and you will eventually get some forward drive. One more thing I want to mention, check out E-Viratrue. I'll link it up in the description below. And also, if you want to check out my previous video on the steering bell crank that I installed by E-Viratrue really makes a huge difference on how this truck drives. He kind of redesigned it a little bit. It doesn't, it's the angle. I go into it in more detail when I did the install video, but it really just gives you full lock-to-lock steering, and it's way more precise, and it holds the line much better. Really changed how this truck handles for the better. I do have these little E-Viratrue bump stops, functional hydraulic bump stops on the back here. So when you bottom out, it's just a little extra cushion. I think those work great, and they look really cool. So yeah, overall, really happy with this truck. Got the Vidavon rear sway bar here. That helps a lot. My only issue that I've run into, and I wouldn't even say it's an issue, it might actually be, man, this thing is filthy right now. It really smells like a swamp too. I got to like disinfect myself after this. The A-arm at the front control arms on this truck are incredibly flexy, right? You can see that, how much they flex. Good and bad, right? I have a set of Vidavon aluminum arms sitting up on the shelf over there. I really hesitate to install them because I've seen a lot of guys, when they install those, if you smack something hard enough, instead of flexing, it's actually going to crack your chassis plate right here. And I've seen plenty of pictures of guys that has happened to. So unless you come up with a stiffener plate that mounts here, I don't know how I feel about the aluminum front arms. The other issue I've had, let's see if I can figure out which one it is here. Fixed itself. So one of these arms actually does have a crack in it. And what happened is the two pins that hold the steering knuckle in, it popped out. You can tell on one of the jumps. So on one of the jumps I did today, going over like a rock, jumping over a log, I landed really hard and it popped the pins out from the knuckle into the lower control arm. I don't know if it cracked it then or if it was cracked already, but I do have a little hairline crack in there. But they're flexible enough where I literally just jammed the pin back in and just really kind of muscled it back in position, and I was able to complete the run and no other issues. So I'll just have to get some new lower arms for the front. It's great for impacts. It really does absorb a lot of the shock on the front, but not the best for precision, right? But like I said, I don't think I'm going to install the aluminum ones up front. On the rear, it's a different story. I do have the aluminum lowers, aluminum rear axle, sway bar, all that stuff. And it's been okay. It's held up much better because, you know, the rear is kind of takes a little bit less of a beating. So yeah, other than that, guys, if you want to see more on this build, check out the previous videos. It's way too much to go into detail here. So I hope you liked this running video. I think it came out really cool. I love playing around in the water. Reminds me, I really have to waterproof my receiver. I got lucky today with the amount of water that was shooting up in the air. My receiver's mounted right back here and it's open and it's not waterproof. So I got lucky. I took a chance. I ran it through the water toward the end of the run because I didn't want to go out and short that thing out immediately. Stay tuned, guys. I'm going to have more videos on this truck in the future, and hit me up in the comments if you have any questions, or if you like the video, give me a thumbs up, consider subscribing, and I'll see you in the next video. Later.
You